television, TV.
What's the alternative for the parent who would agree with you?
I'm waiting for the video to loop back around so I can edit it.
Well, remember that the school isn't the only place that a child gets educated. If you realize that the schools are doing damage, and I believe this, I believe that schools do a lot of damage to kids, then you should do what you can at home to help give them something to counteract what's happening to them at school.
You mean encourage creativity?
Encourage them to read things other than what the school gives them. Encourage them to watch things on television other than cartoons, because I don't believe that television is all bad, and some things that are on are very useful. And give them some support. Let them feel that you as a parent want them to be smart, not just to be successful, not just to be a nice little person, that you want them to develop their thinking apparatus. Schools train people to be ignorant with style.
Yeah, this is Frank Zappa, and he's not lying. Everybody know that school is not education. It's rememorization, and it's not education. It's indoctrination. You hear me? Anytime they set up a classroom where it's in a classroom setting, and you are graded on how much of the curriculum for that day that you remember. So really, you only remember it. You're not even questioning the curriculum. You haven't even questioned the validity of the curriculum, but they want you to train yourself on to not think by remembering what they give you, who is the authority figure. They have the authority complex, so they got to get you to rememorize everything that they tell you to rememorize without asking them why or is the material validated.
You the equipment that you need to be a functional ignoramus. American schools do not equip you to deal with things like logic. They don't give you the criteria by which to judge between good and bad in any medium or format. And they prepare you to be a usable victim for a military-industrial complex that needs manpower.
And look at the prison system, and look at the prison dorm, and look at the armies or the military's bunkers. It's the same. They make up the bed the same. It's the same structure. Just like church and inside of the courthouse is the same formats. You got the preacher in the pulpit. You got the judge that's in the judge seat. You got the maritime gate that you have to walk through, and you have the invisible maritime gate that you have to walk through from the pews up to where the preacher at. That's a C. That's why he come down from the pew, put his hands on you while you in the seat in that blank area before you get up to the pulpit. Every church is designed like this. This is about control.
As long as you're just smart enough to do a job and just dumb enough to swallow what they feed you, you're going to be all right. But if you go beyond that, you're going to have these grave doubts that give you stomach problems, headaches, make you want to go out and do something else.
What's the alternative for the parent who would agree with you?
Well, remember that the school isn't the only place that a child gets educated.
Well, listen. The worst place for the child to get educated is the school. See, let me tell you something. The word education will come from a Latin word, educere. Educere. It means bring out. So true education is bringing out what's in the kid that's already in them. You have some kids that's doctors by birth, because that's what that soul come here to be. You hear me? It has its own talent, what the Bible calls it, and you're supposed to multiply your talent. Every kid in that classroom is not on that bullshit talking about Christopher Columbus. They ain't trying to do no boat. They ain't trying to sail. You did? Or they ain't trying to motherfucker lie about they found someone while they was in their little boat. Fuck out of here.
You realize that the schools are doing damage. And I believe this. I believe that schools do a lot of damage.
Of course. And it's deliberate damage. Out of order chaos. They create the chaos. They create the chaos to get order and control of you, to serve and protect. They're serving the interests of the state and the federal government and protecting those interests of those parties.
Kids. then you should do what you can at home.
You got to do what you can to do at home, because like you must teach your kid how to think and teach your kid there is a soul inside an avatar and not a slave. God did not send you here to slave for money, just to pay for utilities and pay for rent or mortgage. No.
Give them something to counteract what's happening to them at school.
And you got to break the cycle. You got to break the cycle. You cannot let your kids make the same mistakes we have. That's why you have a moral duty by your child, at least it's not for yourself, to study new information and to validate it and invalidate it, so you can make sure that you're being the proper parent to guarantee and assure that your kid do not repeat the cycle of being someone else's economic slave on the plantation of economics.
You mean encourage creativity?
Encourage them to read things other than what the school gives them. Encourage them to watch things on television other than cartoons, because I don't believe that television is all bad, and some things that are on are very useful.
Yeah, and just like social media, when they came out, social media, let's say Facebook supposed to be a face recognition app that the CIA had Mark Zuckerberg create, so people would give their facial image freely. And what happened is we turned around and we used that for our advantage, and now it backfired in their motherfucking face, because they got everybody in their motherfucking face recognition data bank, which they was going to do anyway. It was inevitable, you hear me? But at the same time, now we learn how to make this social media conduit, trade information and wake the people up. He did when they went to imprison the people. Here it is, you imprison the avatar, and you send these man-made laws for the avatar to get constrictions upon. But at the same time, you're freeing the spirit, which is gonna override and shut all the goddamn gland.
And give them some support. Let them feel that you as a parent want them to be smart, not just to be successful, not just to be a nice little person.
All the glass houses. Here's the forecast. If it'll rain nothing but motherfucking rocks.
That you want them to develop their thinking apparatus. Schools train people to be ignorant with style. They give you